Hello again and welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is Robert Schein, Managing Director and Partner at Blanke Schein Wealth Management. Today is Thursday, the 21st of October, 2021. We have three headlines that we're paying attention to as markets are, so you should be too. So let's get right to it, and thanks for watching. So going way back to March of 2020, I started my daily updates. Then I went to about 2 or 3 times a week for clients, friends, and family on my YouTube channel. And we're getting close to 200 episodes. But the whole intent back then was to show you that, what we're paying attention to, what markets are concerned about, and what they will be trading upon is very different than today's headlines. And so when I went back then and did that for our clients, simply because I want to keep our clients engaged, I want to keep them informed, I want to be transparent, let them know our process has been through many markets. Even though we don't know what's to come in the future, we have a process that captures opportunities and keeps our clients balanced and diversified as we navigate all types of markets and volatility. But that goes without saying that headlines on a daily basis, and I mean daily, now we're on a 24-hour news cycle, it's instantaneous. There are negative headlines 24/7. So let's get right to the 3 negative headlines of today. And let's talk about how we actually take on point. The S&P 500 today, intraday, has hit an all-time high of all time. So the news headlines probably won't report that, but we'll explain why the S&P is at all-time highs. That's what matters at the end of the day. But in the meantime, global growth concerns. We see China's GDP. Now their forecasts and our forecasts are coming down. For the third quarter for them, it's only 0.5% right now, year over year, or quarter over quarter right now for them. Obviously they have Evergrande, which was that commercial real estate, and a real estate bubble that is essentially, it's a slow motion car wreck, if you will. It's unraveling. They're going to do all the policy accommodations they need to do to hopefully not have that ultimately unravel. Again, the real estate market in China makes up about 26% of their GDP, so that is a bigger issue, not only there, but everywhere else. And we're paying attention to it. Corbin on our team, on our research team, months back came to us with this story. We reported it to you even before it became hidden in the Wall Street Journal, and then it became front page in Wall Street Journal. We were well ahead of that story, and that's sort of why China right now is in sort of a slow motion car wreck of their growth. Their GDP is coming down. Now, we don't really invest in China. We don't pay attention too much in terms of the investments for our clients per se, but the global GDP is very important for our clients because that means global growth. So, we're all in sort of this big economic world together. So if they sneeze, we catch a cold, or vice versa. So let's go to the next thing. So it's important to pay attention to that. Next thing, Fed officials in hot water. Yeah, we've also been following this as well. Now, at Blanke Schein Wealth Management, we pay close attention to not only what the Federal Reserve, who's on the Federal board, if you will, and what they're doing on their personal sort of assets, because we pay attention to that because it's public information and has to be disclosed. Well, the Federal Reserve, 2 officials, 2 of them actually retired as a result of this, because they traded on information that was given to them prior to becoming public knowledge. One traded out of the equity markets before March of 2020, before the market went down. That's a little bit of conflict of interest, don't you think? Well, as a result, the 2 Fed officials in question, one had a they explained it away. It became a headline. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, who again is trying to fight for his life because he wants to be reinstated going forward, has had to basically move quick and come up with some new rules. Now, the new rules, after the old rules weren't broken technically, but they just needed more refinement, and therefore there was nothing officially illegally done, according to the Federal Reserve. But going forward, they're going to be very clear in this gray space of exactly what they can and can't do. And so it's a slap on the wrist and just go about your way. Now, I agree with that. More rules and regulations, especially for those who are in the know, they have more information than public. You can't do that. It's not acceptable, right? Much like Congress. I believe that Congress shouldn't be able to trade ahead of everyone else. And even though they disclose it, if you look at, we pay attention to, and again, this is not a political statement. This is true fact of what we do in the investment committee. We watch senators and their trades. One specifically is up 50% this year, Nancy Pelosi. She has, in the last 3 quarters, literally crushed it. I don't know how she does it. I really don't. We don't either. But I tell you, she's got some information that happens before, like last quarter, she had a bet on natural gas. Right now, America is in a problem with natural gas and the world. We're literally in a natural gas shortage and an energy crisis. How she got that last quarter, like 100% perfect, I don't even know. But a lot of people in Congress are in the same thing. My point here is, if this is good for the Fed, more transparency, more like what you can and can't do, why wouldn't it be for Congress as well? That's my 2 minutes of venting. Again, I picked on Nancy Pelosi today because she's helping our clients crush it this year. But I'm also saying that, other people on the other side of the aisle, it's all the same. They're literally acting upon information that they really shouldn't be, because it's just too coincidental. It's amazing how they're really great, even better than Warren Buffett. It's amazing. So Delta's Delta. What I'm saying is that right now we have news story that's reported in England, and the headlines are showing that there's a Delta one-off scenario. Now it's another, variation of the Delta virus. I'm just saying that those are headlines. Hopefully this doesn't become a bigger thing than it is. It's over in Europe. It potentially could come our way. Maybe not the holiday season. Maybe it will. We just pray that it doesn't, and we hope that all of the vaccines and all of science can help us out in this particular situation. My whole take-home point is we got 3 negative headlines, and you have the S&P hitting all-time high. Why is that, Rob? It's because of earnings. Corporate earnings are doing better than expected, and earnings move markets. And at the end of the day, let's keep this really basic for everybody. At the end of the day, consumers have money, right? We know this. It's empirical evidence and is reported by what the Federal Reserve is showing, what's in our bank accounts, okay? So we know that the consumer is flush. We know that if you want a job, you can find a job in this economy for the most part. So everything's working really, really well, economically speaking for the consumer. Even though they might feel like it, even though daily headlines it tells you not to ultimately be secure in your own world, you have to look towards the certainties right now of what we're seeing. And corporate earnings right now, at this moment, are reporting better than expected. Now, what drives earnings? U.S. consumers. 2/3 of the GDP in the United States is by the consumer. What you and I have money on. Do we have money in the banks? I just said yes, we do, because the report of what the Federal Reserve has reported shows that we do. So the consumer is healthy. That money will be working its way into the economy, i.e. corporate balance sheets. Corporations have the ability to then make earnings, if you will, and that's why we pay attention to earnings season. That's why markets rise even though headlines aren't so favorable. So that's our update for today. Thanks for watching. And again, if you know somebody, tell them to like and subscribe and share this. Appreciate you. Take care. Bye-bye.